kids experience the stress of divorce each year.
How they react depends on their age, their personality, and the circumstances, of course. So Danielle Applegate and Becky Harrison from Compass Counseling and Consulting are joining us this morning. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
So what can parents and professionals do to help children going through divorce of their parents?
So there's a lot of research on this topic when it comes to the effects of divorce on kids.
Yeah.
All the research suggests that children of divorced homes are going to struggle academically. They're going to struggle in school, their grades are going to suffer, their behavior may get worse. They're more likely to be incarcerated for crimes as a juvenile as well. Because also they're switching from having a two-parent home to a one-parent home, money might be an issue. And several, like 5% of kids who go through a divorce find themselves living in poverty. The other caveat to that is they're more likely to engage in drugs and alcohol and promiscuous sex, looking for that connection. And so those are four really big things to look for with kids going through a divorce.
And what do you say to people, though, that think, oh, this will never happen to my kids?
I think everybody would like to think that, right?
Well, yeah, you don't go into marriage thinking that you're going to get a divorce, right?
I would hope not.
Or that my kids are going to be heathens.
Yes.
Mine will be, just because that's what I deserve.
Oh, my God.
But, you know, I think everybody thinks that it's not going to be my kid, but it can be your kid.
Right.
Whether it is or not depends on how you and your partner handle this divorce and how you choose whether or not to use your children as pawns. Because we see that far too often in a therapeutic setting, as parents using kids against each other. When you do that, the kids are going to be more prone to illness, both physical and mental illness. The scars of the divorce are going to last into adulthood. We learn how to love by what's modeled for us. So if you're growing up in a divorce household and people are yelling and fighting, that becomes your normal, and that's what you take with you into your future relationships.
Yeah. Wow. So Becky, what are some kind of common reactions? I know Dan touched on a few of those, but what are some common reactions that kids have?
Well, it's not uncommon for children to experience a multitude of feelings and emotions when their parents have gone through a divorce. Obviously sadness, but also anger about the divorce itself. And children often have misconceptions and confusion related to divorce, and that can lead to guilt and excessive worry. They may experience anxiety because they don't know what their family is going to look like now. Sometimes feel torn between two parents and experience loyalty conflict. And just adjustment is a big issue, right? To not having your parents together, maybe to living in two separate homes, and maybe down the road to having a step family.
Yeah. And Becky, what can we do if these kids are experiencing those feelings and those adjustments? What can we do for them?
Well, it's really important to talk with your children about divorce and to challenge some of the misconceptions that they may have. But it can also be really helpful to give them an outlet to kind of process what they're feeling and to gain skills to cope with their new normal. So we're starting two groups actually at Compass, one for teens and one for children that meets that need. The group will focus on building coping skills that are healthy for kids and some emotion regulation skills, and then give them a way to kind of process some of the other things they may be experiencing.
And why is a group setting a little bit maybe better for kids dealing with this rather than a one-on-one appointment?
Sure. Well, one of the things that group offers is some community. This is a time where a lot of times children feel kind of isolated and alone, like they're the only one experiencing it. And so to have other people and particularly people their age that get it and are going through it too, can be a really helpful thing.
Great idea here. And when are these groups actually taking place so people can take part?
So the dates and times right now are to be determined. The list is open for both of these groups. You can reach out to us on our website, compasschampaign.com, make contact with us. The groups will be 6 to 8 kids. Each group will max out at about 8 kids. If your insurance covers group therapy, we will gladly bill your insurance. If not, the fee is going to be about $50 per session per kid. It'll be a weekly meeting. It'll be open. So that people can kind of come and go as they need. And we're really excited about bringing groups to Compass. The power of group is unparalleled when it comes to just identifying with each other and just having some sense of normalcy about whatever it is that you're
Just to
going
see
through.
other people are going through it too,
Right.
especially for kids. That's important. Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And real quick, if there are multiple children in the family, should they be going to group together to deal with this together, or is it easier for them to maybe share their feelings separately?
I think it's going to kind of depend on the family dynamic.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so that would be something that we kind of figure out on a case-by-case basis, probably.
Sounds good. Well, Becky, nice to meet you.
It was nice to meet you. Thanks.
And we see you all the time, so
Yeah.
I guess I could say it's nice to see you too.
Nice to see you again.
Yes, it is nice to see you. Thank you guys both so much. Very informative. If you guys want to learn more about these groups, obviously contact Compass Counseling. We'll be right back with more of The Morning Show.